Hello YouTube, this is Insane Monster, and as you can see from the thumbnail, we are doing my first Dragon Ball What If. As for the What If itself, it is what if Dragon Ball had double fruit. This will include things like Haki, including armament, observation, and of course, conquerors. Now, before anything else, let's go through the process of setting this up so that you can get a good details of what to expect. But this will take up probably a good chunk of time. So before the what if officially starts, hit it. Okay, now then, let's get to where Goku is right after Grandpa Gohan's death. After putting his grandpa to rest and everything, because everything before that still happens. So, yeah, afterwards, he looks around looking to see what they have for food left, and in case he needs to go hunting. As he rummages around, he finds something, a odd-looking fruit. Taking a bite out of it and swallowing it, he instantly regrets it as it tastes horrible. However, later on, he finds out that he has a power. This power comes from the fruit he ate, known as the more fruit. And yeah, so he's not getting the gum fruit, as the more fruit's power is to, for starters, increase his strength and speed. I believe the max is times 100. However, it does not increase his durability, stamina, or his level of ki. So there is that limitation. But he is also able to increase the physical size of whatever he touches, including himself and other individuals. So there is that. As we fast forward a little bit after he does some training and such, finding out that well, he didn't find out quite yet since it's seawater that weakens him, and he's in the mountain filled with fresh water, so it wouldn't actually work, given the logic of the show. So we get to where he meets Bulma. Things go from there, as throughout Dragon Ball, we meet the usual characters and such, but along with Roshi is actually an old man with a full head of silver hair, a beard, and some glasses, introducing himself as Rayleigh. Once Goku takes care of his business with the Dragon Balls for the time being and such, he goes to Master Roshi's island to train along with Krillin, as they are also meeting Rayleigh, Silver's Rayleigh, as he does also offer to train them. As for Roshi, he actually does have a double fruit as well, having the ice fruit, finding it pretty easy to use that to get across water if he has to. So yeah, as time goes on, the Z fighters learn how to use Haki more and more, especially Goku, who has a natural talent for training, learning martial arts, and such, along with his incredible room for growth. not just because he's a Saiyan, but he seems to be a natural at martial arts, learning the Kamehameha wave and mass even getting stronger with armament and observation haki. Though he has learned a few tricks to get around the whole thing with getting into water. One of which is actually a key barrier surrounding his entire body, like a added layer of skin, separating the seawater from him. Since the seawater doesn't touch him, he can get around with that. As time passes, the Z fighters, well, some of the Z fighters get their own devil fruits, most of them actually, as Goku uses his more and more devil fruit to defeat villain after villain, though still suffering some damaging attacks to get the Zenkai due to the fact of the uh, well, he only uses the more fruit power as a kind of last resort. He doesn't particularly like relying on it since it feels somewhat like cheating. Plus, increasing the amount of times he boosts his strength and or speed has the side effect of running down his stamina faster. So, as he trains, he ends up learning how to control the Izaru form. This is due to the fact that the power of Haki that he's been trained by Rayleigh, alongside being trained by Master Roshi, ends up, well, if you can think for a moment, you would see that the observation Haki is connected to the mind, while Conqueror's Haki that he eventually found out he had and was trained by Rayleigh to use it is connected to the spirit, with armament being connected to the body. And other training in Haki further harnessed his will in his spirit and mind, allowing him to be in control of his Izaru form. Of course, once he realized what happened, he was saddened that it was him, his own grandpa's life. After that, he was somewhat saddened. But battles went on, beating the Red Ribbon Army, King Piccolo, all the way to the World Martial Arts Tournament where he had to face Piccolo Jr., which before that time he trained with Kami. As for the other Z fighters, including Piccolo, a number of them did get devil fruits. As for what those are, for Piccolo, he got the Dragon devil fruit, the same one that we know Kaido has, which pretty well matches up with him. As for Krillin, the human fruit model Buddha. Yamcha, dog fruit model wolf. Like I said, Master Roshi has the ice fruit. And Shinhan, the light fruit. Ox King does have the ox fruit, just because I couldn't keep from giving it to him. Yajirobe actually accidentally ate the pump fruit. It allows him to enhance the fighting spirit of individuals through his words by cheering them, basically using his words and such to pump people up, giving them a stronger fighting spirit. So yeah, those are the individuals who have double fruit so far. As we continue with the martial arts tournament, and the last tournament for the Dragon Ball series that started it all. Obviously, we get the Chichi, who is revealed to have eaten the Phoenix Devil Fruit, or the Bird Fruit model Phoenix. As he is beaten like in canon, the same thing still happens with her and Goku getting engaged so that they can be married. Afterwards, we get to the fight with Piccolo. After training with Kami and such, he learned a couple of things, one of which is flying, which a lot of the Z fighters, including Master Roshi, following his pride, learned how to do after the tournament, due to the fact that it was easier, given the fact that they fell in the ocean. It would be very troublesome for them, mostly because, well, exactly because they would drown to death. So, yeah. But back to the tournament. As Piccolo reveals his double fruit powers, with Goku not only showcasing his flying and quick movements with some of the six powers, which are considered a type of Haki techniques. So, like in canon, Goku does win, though the city around them that was quickly evacuated during this fight was, well, completely destroyed. Though there was nothing but a barren wasteland of rubble left. Not even a building left standing after this fight. So, yeah. Afterwards, Goku does the same and let Piccolo go, saying that he would like to fight him again. Obviously, he turns down the offer from Kami to take his place as Guardian of Earth as he flies off with Chichi. As for the developments past this, he has Gohan, who he does ask Chichi about training him, but she is reluctant until Goku brought out something very particular that was something that was going on while Goku was training with Kami, showing a capsule that Bulma gave him. Upon pressing it, it showed a box. Opening it to reveal a bunch of devil fruits. As he asks how, he remarks that during his time training with Kami, Bulma and the others actually gathered the Dragon Balls up during that time and used them to modify a dragon radar that Bulma made, allowing it to find devil fruits instead of Dragon Balls. Since it's Shinhan, a magical wish-granting dragon, I don't think it'd be too far out the realms of possibility for him to modify with his magic a dragon radar, which looks for magical wish-granting orbs. I don't think it'd be that far of a stretch. As the second time they used the Dragon Balls after that, asked for a book listing everything that they would need to know about every devil fruit. What they look like, what powers they have, the names, all of it. So, after making that wish for the Dragon Radar to be modified, they went around helping Bulma look for all the devil fruits that they could find that, well, weren't eaten. They can only find devil fruits that weren't eaten, taking them from some really bad guys. So, yeah. So, over time, people did somewhat find a connection with the guy who had spiky hair and connections to the people who gathering tons of devil fruits, somehow knowing where they were. I would imagine that the criminal underworld knew about the devil fruits, and they would want them at any cost. Obviously, eventually, shortly after Gohan was born, they were able to find the man who had a connection with Bulma, given a witness that stuck around, trailing Bulma and the other Z fighters, trying to figure out about the double fruits that they took. Finding about the connection with Goku, as well as seeing the capsule Bulma handed him after finding that him on Mount Hakabe. Obviously, some people did attack trying to get the Dragon Balls, as Goku fended them off time and time again, with Chichi using her Phoenix Devil Fruit to heal any wounds he ended up getting. This ends up giving Goku a decent boost, as the Z Fighters do their things during the time that they're separated from Goku and his family with Chichi and Gohan. After these attacks and such, and knowing why they're here, also realizing that some of these devil fruits are way too dangerous to be in the hands of the wrong people, especially considering some of them could potentially destroy the world if used the wrong way. So he agreed for Gohan to be trained on the condition that he keeps up with his studies and academics. That was the only conditions he made. He didn't want her son to be a meathead like his father. Goku agreed, stating that they won't train all the time and he can study when you need him to. As Chichi is happy about this, and they agree. Of course, he is trained, so he does get some combat experience from his training, though his mother did keep him away whenever things happened with the people invading, trying to get the devil fruit. Eventually, people just stopped, considering criminal organizations were losing tons of money on this, and even the devil fruit users sent over to try to get the other devil fruits, they were losing more than they could afford. So much so that some of these organizations actually went under, basically bankrupt and arrested, since they couldn't pay anybody off anymore for, keeping them out of jail. After which, the attacks just stopped. So the training continued, just in case, especially if Piccolo ever came back, figuring out about the devil fruits that he had stored. Every now and then we see Goku going out with the modified radar, which we'll call the devil radar instead of the dragon radar, to go and find devil fruits that have reemerged. As he opens up the capsule, putting it into the box it makes, then turning it back into the capsule to store it properly. Since devil fruits don't really rot or anything, it really isn't that much trouble to store them in there. So yeah, as we continue to the beginning of Dragon Ball Z, where Goku is actually able to convince Chichi to come in this one, as she can fly on her own with her wings, and Goku can fly, learning how to use his ki for it from the crane style, like the rest of the Z fighters, as I said, to avoid falling into the ocean. As they all meet up and catch up, They're surprised that Gohan has a tail and asked about if there's any problems with it. Since Goku was able to control his Azaru form due to the mental and spiritual training that he gained from his Haki practice, he states, well, I know what will happen if he does see the full moon, so we keep an eye on that and make sure he goes to bed early so he doesn't ever see it. Leaves a lot less complications that way. Well, we don't need him stepping on our house. But them agreeing, especially whenever the first time he transforms in the show for us, destroying the entire castle of Emperor Piccolo. So yeah, as they catch up and Gohan is playing with Turtle, we switch over to where Raditz lands. And yes, he is in the thumbnail, and there is a reason for that. As he sees that his brother Kakarot did not do the mission he was sent here to do. Being angry at this, he senses the closest high power level after dealing with the farmer guy that tries to shoot him. So yeah, afterwards, he finds Piccolo, as Piccolo has gotten a bit stronger, but Ki-wise might be a little outmatched for this, as he doesn't pay him any mind as he detects an even higher power level. As he flies towards where Goku is, causing Piccolo to get curious about what's with him and following to see the event unfold. Things go a bit differently, however, in this time. As he lands on Turtle Island, he sees the Z Fighters and such, finding his brother, who, like you would expect, or what I say did earlier, he has his tail, asking why hasn't he destroyed this world already and all of these people. As it's revealed, Goku is actually an alien, which Chichi is just stunned at the point that her mind is processing with the look that you could probably put some complicated math questions and such in the background to make a meme out of. And when he threatens all of them, all of their lives, then Shinhan, who is here, uh, jumps out to attack to get a ki blast through his chest. This doesn't kill him due to the fact he has the light-like fruit, but unlike Haki, ki does still hurt him, but it doesn't really nullify the devil fruit powers. So Logia types can feel the pain of being hit with ki blasts, but they won't retain the damage from it. That only happens with Haki. And yes, if they use the Ryu form of armament Haki to infuse into their ki blast, it is possible to harm a individual with the ki blast then. And yes, given Goku's aptitude for martial arts, he has learned it. So, as this is seen, Raditz finds it interesting that the hole he just made in this guy's chest is closed up now. And it did so in a light flowing from his wound. Finding this interesting, but trying to stay on topic. As he sees Gohan He goes to grab him, but is met with Goku grabbing his wrist. It just makes Raditz mad as he goes to punch, only to be blocked by an armored Haki forearm. Though, due to the difference in ki level, this causes Goku to back up as he is somewhat launched back, but is able to grab Gohan, bringing him with him, tossing him to Chichi as he deals with this, with Raditz shaking his fist in pain after hitting that. As a fight breaks out, Goku can realizes that his amount of ki isn't going to match up with this Raditz guy who seems to be his brother. So he has no choice but to use the more fruit, boosting his physical speed and power. Of course, as you may guess, like I said, doesn't increase his durability, but his striking power and striking speed are highly enhanced, allowing him to deal some significant damage, especially with armament Haki. Though he isn't using the Ryu form because he wants him conscious enough so he can get some answers. After beating him senseless and gasping a little bit after over-exerting his stamina, Raditz is too beat up to move. As he states, how your power level and that speed and strength doesn't match up. As Goku states, well, obviously, he ate a devil fruit. And then Raditz states, and that man, it blew a hole in his chest, but it just closed up. It's supposed to be dead. With Krillin stating, well, it wouldn't even matter if you killed him. We could just use the Dragon Balls to bring him back. As he hears this, a voice is heard from the scouter he's wearing where everybody can hear. As it's Vegeta telling Raditz due to his failure, he's no longer useful to us. So, we'll be coming to Earth to take those Dragon Balls and these devil fruit things that seem to be quite interesting. As he crushes the fruit that he was eating, Raditz has a look of despair on his face. As Piccolo's ears are highly sensitive and crazy good at hearing, he lands down and talks to them, stating that if what that guy said from this thing, as he takes the scouter off of Raditz's ear, continuing, is correct, we don't have a luxury of rivalries right now. Looking at Goku. Goku realizing that, yeah, this could be troublesome, but how bad could it be? As Raditz states, there will be two coming. One of them is Nappa. His strength is about 5 times my own. As for Vegeta, he is more like 15. With them being severely worried about this, only way Goku was able to beat him was by maxing out his more fruits, strength and speed multiplier, and exerting all of his stamina. So they really need to think of something. As he grabs Raditz, he states, look, we don't have time for this, and you're gonna help. If they're coming to kill you too, then I think it would be best if you help us fight them, right? As Raditz offs, stating, it's annoying, but it's true. Rather not die. So, from now we'll work together. As Goku looks at Piccolo, stating, I'm going to the commies to try to figure out a way to get strong enough to deal with this. And knowing you, you're probably the best suited for what I have in mind. As he looks at Chichi, stating, Chichi, go bring Gohan back to the house and guide Piccolo there. Grab a devil fruit for Gohan and give it to him. As Chichi asked why, Goku explains that during his training with Gohan, he's noticed that he's far stronger than him when he was his age, as he seems to have the most potential out of all of us. We want to have a best chance of surviving, of all of us surviving. Then we need Gohan to be as strong as possible. Leave the choice of devil fruit up to you. But Piccolo, you need to train him as best as you can. I'll go to commies and try to figure out how long we got. Didn't really say, so as they head over to commies with Goku carrying Raditz and the Z-Fighters coming along, Goku stopped at Corinth, dropping off Raditz with him as he gets a senzu bean, feeding it to him. Afterwards, he finds himself completely healed with the Zenkai boost, marking incredible. I think such a planet would have a hidden gem like this. With Goku stating, you can think about that later. We need to hurry. As Goku asked, how long do you think we have? Raditz states, depending on where they are, it could be a year, give or take some months. I'm not quite sure myself. Wasn't really the kind of saying to be thinking about that stuff. But Goku stating, yeah, I'm not really that way either. After getting the commies, they explained everything. So the plan was this. Piccolo would train Gohan, Chichi grabbing a devil fruit, grab one that she would think would help keep him safe, as well as experience as less pain as possible. This actually be the Gum Gum fruit. Due to its ability to make somebody rubber, a physical punch, or at least a normal one, wouldn't have any effect on him. So she gave it to Gohan as he ate it, one bite, and then instantly regretted it for how it tastes. As Tommy states that there is a way for Goku and this Raditz to train that would probably be best, it would take some traveling, and it's not on this plane of existence. I would have to make the arrangements first. So, do you have any preparations before you go on this trip? I suggest you do it now. As Goku tells Raditz to stay here, as Popo brings him some food. Honestly, Raditz is confused by all this, and obviously the Z-Fighters don't really trust him that much, but given the imminent threat of their entire world being destroyed and all of them slaughtered, they don't really have much of a choice. Devil fruits or not, you can't survive if there's no planet to survive on. Which they will do if it comes to it, as Raditz tells them, getting them quite nervous. As Goku gets to his house, Gohan's already eaten the gum gum fruit. As he goes through it, the box with the double fruits, picking one out and putting it in a bag to tie to his side. Chichi is worried as she asks him, "I want to survive this, right?" He smirks, stating, "I'll do everything I can to make sure we do. I swear." Kissing Chichi on the forehead as he flies off, telling Piccolo to make sure to take care of his son. Chichi wasn't exactly happy about this, especially from the rules Piccolo set for him. He had to survive for a month without any assistance from his mom or from Piccolo, as Gohan was ready for this after being trained by his dad for a while. He learned how to fish and such, even using key barriers around his body, just in case, with some minor flight. So training goes better for Gohan. Afterwards, the training with Piccolo begins, and they do gain significant benefit from it, with Gohan getting some beginner armament Haki. Not a lot of observation, though, but it is still higher than his armament, due to uh, his mind being pretty sharp for him. So, yeah. As for Goku, as he gets back to the lookout, Tommy already made some telepathic communications for them to get everything set up. As he states, normally this wouldn't be allowed, however, given these certain circumstances we find ourselves in, we don't have much of a choice. As he leads them to the gate to the afterlife, which we've seen in the final part of Dragon Ball, the original series, after the final tournament arc of this, which has the giant woman who guards it, allowing them to enter. As Goku passes Grandpa Gohan, bowing and showing his respect, with Grandpa Gohan knowing that what's going on. Goku reassures him that they'll make sure that they win. As they go through and meet King Yama, and this I think would be possible considering Goku has teleported to King Kai's planet, which is supposed to be another realm or the afterlife, and he does it frequently despite being a living being. So don't think this is too far out of reach. As he's explained along with Raditz about where they're going, their training, as they understand and are taken to Snake Way. As for their strategy to make it as quick as possible, Goku explains his devil fruit power that helped him beat Raditz, and that he uses it as a last resort. Given the time frame that they have, given what uh, Tommy was able to get after not only contacting King Yama, but King Kai as well. That last one taking a bit more time to connect. King Kai actually checked and is worried, telling them that they have a year. As Kami goes back, filling in everybody of how long they have, including Piccolo. Though not pleased to talk to him, again, not much of a choice. So once Goku and Raditz get the Snake Way, Raditz complains, "Oh, you have got to be kidding me. Look how far this is." This is gonna take forever. Correction, this is gonna take forever. It's half of another forever. With Goku explaining, not really. I do have a plan, but it might be somewhat weird. As Raditz states, it's just there sooner. I don't care. As he states, remember how I explained my devil fruit powers? I can boost my speed to its max and run with you on my back. That way we cover more distance in a shorter amount of time. But once I run out of stamina, I'll need you to carry me on your back so I can recover. And we can keep doing that until we're all taken care of. We should get there a lot sooner, right? Raditz remembering how fast his brother was whenever they were fighting. Smirking, he states, alright, it's weird, true, but it would get us there the fastest. And it would diminish the amount of stamina we waste on this journey by switching out. So, I'll hop on your back as he face palms himself. Back on Earth, however, we see Bulma tinkering with the radar. Well, the scouter thing. Going as far as using her devil fruit powers. I held off on this because this is when it really becomes relevant. She ate the Clank fruit, allowing her to assemble whatever she wants, especially technology. So yeah, he uses it to find the ins and outs of it, figuring out that there's a constant transmission coming from this thing. As she uses her power to disconnect it and tells everybody what she found. Not thinking that this might have been the Saiyans listening in, but on a second look, besides the Saiyans, it seems as though it was sending out two signals. One was to the Saiyans that were listening in, while the other was to an unknown place. Though, due to some lack of information and such, there is some question. Any report that this information would cause is on the back burner for a while, mostly because the information that this goes to is highly large and would take time for processing, paperwork, and all that boring stuff, just for the security of the show's timeline. As for Goku and his brother Raditz, they continue running down Snake Way, using the trading off to do their best not to burn over their stamina at the same time, so that they can move on the constantly down Snake Way. This is due to the fact that after being told that they fall down there, they will go to hell. Raditz knows that if he dies after the stuff he's done, he's probably going to go there. So he convinced his brother to run there, since he doesn't want to take a chance of something happening, causing him to fall down there and not being able to escape. So we don't get the whole thing where they fall into hell and meet the weird red and blue demon guys. And continuing down Snake Way, they finally get to King Kai's. After they jump off the end of the Snake Way's tail, they do land pretty hard on the tiny planet. finding out that the gravity is highly disproportionate to the size of the planet. As King Kai explains everything and says that he does know about their situation already, talking with Tommy, and knows that this is dire, stating that while they're on this planet, time moves differently. So they'll be training here for a lot longer than what it would be if they trained back on Earth. So they have plenty of time, equating it to about 2 or 3 years, depending. As Raditz states, we should leave early. We need to get there before Vegeta and Nappa arrive. If we don't, then who knows might happen. As he looks at his brother, stating, Kakarot, you have to take this extremely seriously. Goku looking at him, stating, I know. I fought to help protect my friends, family, and the world from all kinds of threats. But this one is in another league. So there's no way I'm going to fail. As King Kai smiles, stating, excellent. However, there is a condition, which they're told about the joke thing. They do the joke thing, making King Kai laugh as he accepts them as students. As they do train quite long and arduously by King Kai, Goku and Raditz do their own training on the side, as Goku does everything possible to train Raditz in Haki. Given the fact that, Luffy, as well as Zoro and Sanji learned some Haki during 2 years, and while on King Kai's planet, it will be between 2 and 3 years of training. And we also take the fact that it only took Luffy a shorter amount of time to master the basics of Haki than the 2 years he had to train. We can imagine that Raditz does learn how to use Haki, finding it very interesting, stating, so, Kakarot, this is what you use to defend yourself against my punch, as well as this optical Haki you talked about to recognize where my attacks were going. What about the others? Goku mentioned that, well, they are weaker than me, and they probably couldn't see your movements before it was too late. There is a kind of lapse if your opponent is too fast for you. Even if you can see what's going to happen, if you avoid it, if they're still far faster than you, then the opponent could still gain the upper hand and take you out. As Raditz kind of gets it, even if the optical Haki allows the individual to see what's going to happen to them if it gets to that point through training, it doesn't necessarily mean that they'll be capable of actually dodging it physically, depending upon the individual that they're fighting. So, as the training goes on, Raditz asks King Kai every now and then about the time that they have until they need to leave, keeping King Kai on his toes with the calculations of how long it will take them to get back. He understands Raditz's anxiousness considering the stakes, and getting there while they have superior numbers would be their best chance. As the other Z fighters, they get trained by Popo, but under a scenario where they fully understand what they're going up against. As Goku and Raditz both learn the Kaioken, but only Goku is taught the spirit bomb. As Raditz isn't quite happy about this, King Kai states that his attitude and such would be a hindrance in gathering the spirit energy for the spirit bomb, meaning that he wouldn't be able to do it even if he wanted to. After checking one last time with King Kai, he states that they'll be needing to leave in about 1 month's time to make it there about 12 hours before the Saiyans Vegeta and Nappa land. As Raditz clenches his fist, stating that, alright, we should be good. As Goku pulls him aside, taking the bag that he's had strapped onto his waist for a while, putting it down when necessary, showing him the what he has, devil fruit, explaining the devil fruit's power and what you have to pay for. Learning that if he falls into an ocean, he'll die by drowning, losing all function in his body to move and resist, meaning he couldn't swim and would just sink to the bottom of the sea, drowning to death. Raditz understood that, but as he could fly, that wasn't really much of a problem, as long as he wasn't punched into the ocean. Taking a bite, he finds it highly disgusting and gags on it, yelling, Kakarot, did you give me a rotten fruit? Oh, oh, they're gonna be sick. Goku stating, no, that's actually just how all devil fruits taste. Part of the setback of them is not, is, well, you'll gain a power that could be useful for combat, and yours will, but, it tastes awful. Luckily, you only need to take one bite for it to. As they look at the double fruit, and it just disintegrates as the power is integrating into Raditz's body. The last month, he trained Raditz into using his new devil fruit abilities, which I'll leave you guessing for a little bit, but maybe the thumbnail might tip you off. But their training continues for the month. As it ends, King Kai tells them that it's time. You leave now and go at max speed. You should get there in the time I specify. As they fly and blitz towards back home, arriving like planned. Now stronger and more confident with this new Kaioken for the both of them, they are certain that they could definitely take care of Vegeta and Nappa. Not to mention, unlike before, Raditz can now control his Zaru form due to the training of Haki, training his mind and such. Though he does not have Conqueror's Haki like his brother, as he was constantly trained to withstand it as a way of strengthening his willpower in some aspect. So, yeah. As they get there, they meet with the other Z fighters who are arriving a bit early to gather to talk about what they should do while waiting. And what they do is eat, with Goku seeing his son, proud at how strong he is, with Raditz being able to see this increase as he, through training with his younger brother, has now gained the ability to sense heat, no longer needing a scout. Which is when we see Bulma walk up to them, telling everybody about what she found. about the Scouters, that there was a signal going to the Saiyans that were listening in. There was another one going somewhere else. So Raditz thought about this and remembered the reason why Vegeta would come here for those Dragon Balls. Clenching his fist, he pipes up, telling everybody what he knows about Frieza, a ruthless tyrant who, for some time, after a while, Vegeta found out that he was the one who destroyed our home world, looking at his brother, stating that he most likely wants the Dragon Balls to make himself immortal. If he's immortal, then he would be able to constantly gain a Zenkai boost, no matter how many times he received a fatal wound, would just heal. And furthermore, would end up allowing him to get strong enough to match Frieza, though it would be a painful process. And hopefully he hasn't found out about Dragon Balls either. He came here. I don't know what we do. With everyone being silent, Piccolo pipes up stating, "We can table that for now, since we haven't heard anything from King Kai about movements like that. That would be troublesome, since he was told from Kami that there isn't anything other than the Saiyans that is suspicious that Piccolo was told from Kami. Kami heard that from King Kai, checking every now and then to see if anything else was going on in the North Galaxy of the universe that he is overseeing. Luckily, nothing really got into Frieza yet. So, for now they can rest on that, focusing more on the Saiyans coming for them right now. With all this said, we will end this part of the What If right now, as we will leave this for the next part. Do hope you enjoyed. Please remember to like, comment, and subscribe. Hit the notification bell, set it to all so that you're properly notified. And do hope you enjoyed What If Dragon Ball Had Devil Fruits Part 1. So, with all that said, have a good night and see you later.